One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet who millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Check one. I'm here. Whew, just a little bit late, but I'm here. No worries. I am here for you. All right. So tonight we have a special presentation. We have Donald Trump at what is called the Al Smith Dinner to benefit Catholic Charities for Children in New York City, and he'll be there as a guest of Cardinal Dolan from, I think, St. Patrick's Cathedral, and we're going to have that speech. Now, let me just give you an idea of what this, if you've never seen an Al Smith dinner, not that you probably would have, because they're usually, kind of staunchy, but when you have Donald Trump there, you actually have somebody putting on a show. So the Al Smith dinner is not like a speech. It's not a campaign. You're not going to be there talking about anything specific in terms of running against Kamala or doing anything like that. This is a comedy roast. I mean, I'm sure he'll have some seriousness as he's talking for children and talking for the Catholic Church. But for the most part, it is an all-out roast. So I want you to just sit back and understand this is going to be a lot different than what you're used to. It's not a rally. It's not a speech. It's simply a roast. Now, in 2016, what I'm going to show you, he roasted Hillary Clinton. And she was sitting right there, as you're going to see. And so even though they were in the heat of an election campaign, basically exact same timing, about 19 or 20 days out from the election, as much as they were battling, as much as everything you remember that was going on, they sat down and took the time to benefit the Al Smith Foundation and get money raised for kids. I believe back then they raised $6 million. This year it's up to like $10 million that they've raised. But it was good-hearted. She roasted him. He roasted her. For one day, you wave the white flag, all bets are off. I'm going to come after you in a funny way. You're going to come after me in a funny way. It's all in jest, and let's just have some fun and a nice dinner. That's how it was supposed to be. You see, nobody since 1984, so 40 years, no candidates running for the presidency since 40 years ago have not showed up for this dinner. That's how prestigious this dinner is. For 40 years, every single candidate, not just the president, every single candidate has shown up for this dinner and allowed themselves to be roasted and have roasted the other guy. That ended this year. You see, Kamala Harris decided, yeah, I'm not coming. She thumbed her nose up at one of the most prestigious, well-known, well-regarded charities in the country and said, I ain't coming. So Trump's going to have the stage to himself because she's not even going to be there. I can't imagine what kind of fireworks he's going to let loose with. So what did she do? She sent over a recorded video and told Cardinal Dolan, you can't look at it until it's time to play it. And then you can play it for everybody to see, but you can't look at it in advance, and you can't show it to Donald Trump. At what point does Cardinal Dolan say, you know what, I know I'm a man of the cloth, but screw you. You know what I mean? You didn't have the time to come here. You were too busy. Your schedule had a conflict in it because you got so many things to do. You couldn't come to this charity event with you and your husband, just like Melania and Donald have done in the past, and Bill and Hillary, and every single presidential candidate. For the last 40 years, none of them have missed it. The only person who missed it was in '84 when Walter Mondale didn't go while Reagan was there. And you remember how that election turned out, don't you? If you don't, go back and look at the 1984 election results to see how Walter Mondale smited God and how it worked out for him. So she's not going to be there. She's not showing up. Don't know if she's donating any money. Don't know anything. She just decided she's not going. And here's a video I made, which will probably be pretty short. Even though, I mean, Trump, I'm going to show you his video from 2016, which is funny, and there's kind of boring parts, but he spoke for almost 16 minutes. And he's reading the jokes. I mean, if you guys ever, some of you may be old enough to see Dean Martin roast and how they were. They go up there and they basically roast a person. It's funny, and you make light of everything. You have a good time. You lay down your arms. No battle here tonight. We're just going to have a good time for charity. And the witch didn't show up. She deserves everything she's got coming to her. I cannot believe she decided to just ignore this event where it is completely hands-off. It's not a campaign event. And by all means, you could have taken shots at Donald Trump. It's free game. Go for it. But you didn't want him taking shots at you. See, that's what it is. Your emotions, your feelings are too frail where you were afraid of what Donald Trump would say to you and have people laughing at you, which is what it's supposed to be. Shame on you, Kamala. Shame on you. You're weak. So let me start this off. We'll play a couple minutes and I'll take some comments. And this is Donald Trump roasting Hillary in 2016.
Thank you, Al. Wow. That was good. This is a hell of a dinner. Well, I want to thank Your Eminence. This is really great to be with you again. We love it. Governor Cuomo, our great senators. Hi, Chuck. He used to love me when I was a Democrat, you know. Mayor de Blasio, wherever you are. Where is Mayor de Blasio? Huh? Hello, Mayor. Come on. See, in the old days, I would have known him very well, but I haven't been doing so much of the real estate anymore. And I want to thank Al and Nan Smith. Just a fantastic job you do with the dinner, and congratulations on a record. Over $6 million, right? Is their record. And a special hello to all of you in this room who have known and loved me for many, many years. It's true. The politicians. They've had me to their homes. They've introduced me to their children. I've become their best friends in many instances. They've asked for my endorsement, and they always wanted my money. And even called me really a dear, dear friend. But then, suddenly, decided when I ran for president as a Republican that I've always been a no-good, rotten, disgusting scoundrel. And they totally forgot about me. But that's okay. You know, they say when you do this kind of an event, you always start out with a self-deprecating joke. Some people think this would be tough for me, but the truth is, it's true. The truth is I'm actually a modest person, very modest. It's true. In fact, many people tell me that modesty is perhaps my best quality. Even better than my temperament. You know, Cardinal Dolan and I have some things in common. For instance, we both run impressive properties on Fifth Avenue. Of course, his is much more impressive than mine. That's because I built mine with my own beautifully formed hands. While his was built with the hands of God, and nobody can compete with God. Is that correct? Nobody, right? That's right. No contest. It's great to be here with 1,000 wonderful people, or as I call it, a small, intimate dinner with some friends. Or as Hillary calls it, her largest crowd of the season. This stuff. This is corny stuff. I do recognize that I come into this event with a little bit of an advantage. I know that so many of you in the Archdiocese already have a place in your heart for a guy who started out as a carpenter working for his father. I was a carpenter working for my father. True. Not for a long period of time, but I was for about 3 weeks. What's great about the Al Smith dinner is that even in the rough and tumble world of a really, really hard-fought campaign. In fact, I don't know if you know Hillary, but last night they said that was the most vicious debate in the history of politics, presidential debate, the most vicious. And I don't know, are we supposed to be proud of that, or are we supposed to be unhappy? But they did say that, and I'm trying to think back to Lincoln. I don't think they can really compete with that. But the candidates have some lighthearted moments together, which is true. I have no doubt that Hillary is going to laugh quite a bit tonight, sometimes even at an appropriate moment. It's true. And even tonight, with all of the heated back and forth between my opponent and me at the debate last night, we have proven that we can actually be civil to each other. In fact, just before taking the dais, Hillary accidentally bumped into me, and she very civilly said, "Pardon me." And I very politely replied, "Let me talk to you about that after I get into office." Just kidding, just kidding. And Hillary was very gracious. She said if somehow she gets elected, she wants me to be, without question, either her ambassador to Iraq or to Afghanistan. It's my choice. But one of the things I noticed tonight, and I've known Hillary for a long time, is this is the first time ever, that Hillary is sitting down and speaking to major corporate leaders and not getting paid for it. It's true. It's true. It's true. You know, last night I called Hillary a nasty woman. But this stuff is all relative. After listening to Hillary rattle on and on and on, I don't think so badly of Rosie O'Donnell anymore. In fact, I'm actually starting to like Rosie a lot. These events give not only the candidates a chance to be with each other in a very social setting, it also allows the candidates the opportunity to meet the other candidates' team. Good team. I know Hillary met my campaign manager, and I got the chance to meet the people who are working so hard to get her elected. There they are, the heads of NBC, CNN, CBS, ABC. There's the New York Times right over there, and the Washington Post. They're working overtime. True. True.
As you can hear, I'm going to go right back to it, but you notice a lot of the things he said about Hillary, you could say about Kamala as well tonight. And those of you who are just tuning in, I just wanted to say, because I'm seeing quite a few comments, yes, this is from 2016. Notice the number up in the top right-hand corner. It says 2016. This is when he was running against Hillary, and this was the event that they went to together where he had a chance to roast her. And she roasted him as well. As I mentioned earlier, yeah, Kamala, not so much. She's not showing up. So let's continue. If I can click the button right. There we go.
Oh, this one's going to get me in trouble. Not with Hillary. You know, the president told me to stop whining. But I really have to say, the media is even more biased this year than ever before. Ever. You want the proof? Michelle Obama gives a speech, and everyone loves it. It's fantastic. They think she's absolutely great. My wife, Melania, gives the exact same speech. And people get on her case. And I don't get it. I don't know why. And it wasn't her fault. Stand up, Melania. Come on. She took a lot of abuse. Oh, I'm in trouble when I go home tonight. She didn't know about that one. Am I okay? Is it okay? Cardinal, please speak to her. I'd like to address an important religious matter, the issue of going to confession, or as Hillary calls it, the 4th of July weekend with FBI Director Comey. Now, I'm told Hillary went to confession before tonight's event. But the priest was having a hard time when he asked her about her sins, and she said she couldn't remember 39 times. Nah. Hillary is so corrupt. She got kicked off the Watergate Commission. How corrupt you have to be to get kicked off the Watergate Commission. Pretty corrupt. Hillary is and has been in politics since the 70s. What's her pitch? The economy is busted. The government's corrupt. Washington is failing. Vote for me. I've been working on these problems for 30 years. I can fix it, she says. I wasn't really sure if Hillary was going to be here tonight because I guess you didn't send her invitation by email. Or maybe you did, and she just found out about it through the wonder of WikiLeaks. We've learned so much from WikiLeaks. For example, Hillary believes that it's vital to deceive the people by having one public policy and a totally different policy in private. That's okay. I don't know who they're angry at, Hillary, you're right. For example, here she is tonight in public pretending not to hate Catholics. Now, if some of you haven't noticed, Hillary isn't laughing as much as the rest of us. That's because she knows the jokes. And all of the jokes were given to her in advance of the dinner by Donna Brazil, which is, everyone knows, of course, Hillary's belief that it takes a village, which only makes sense, after all, in places like Haiti, where she's taken a number of them.
Ouch.
Thank you. I don't know, and I don't want this evening without saying something nice about my opponent. Hillary's been in Washington a long time. She knows a lot about how government works. And according to her sworn testimony, Hillary has forgotten more things than most of us will ever know. That I can tell you. We're having some fun here tonight, and that's good. On a personal note, what an amazing honor it is to be with all of you. And I want to congratulate Hillary on getting the nomination, and we're in there fighting. And over the next 19 days, somebody's going to be chosen. We'll see what happens. But I have great memories of coming to this dinner with my father over the years when I was a young man. Great experience for me. This was always a special experience for him and me to be together. One thing we can all agree on is the need to support the great work that comes out of the dinner. Millions of dollars have been raised to support disadvantaged children, and I applaud the many people who have worked to make this wonderful event a critical lifeline for children in need. And that we together broke the all-time record tonight is really something special. More than 6 million net. The Cardinal told me that's net, Donald, remember. We can also agree on the need to stand up to anti-Catholic bias, to defend religious liberty, and to create a culture that celebrates life. America is in many ways divided. Thank you. America is in many ways divided like it's never been before. And the great religious leaders here tonight give us all an example that we can follow. We're living in a time and age that we never thought possible before. The vicious barbarism we'd read about in history books, but never thought we'd see it in our so-called modern-day world. Who would have thought we would be witnessing what we're witnessing today? We've got to be very strong very, very smart, and we've got to come together, not only as a nation, but as a world community. Thank you very much. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
With a few tweaks here or there, he could basically give the same speech 8 years later. I was stunned when I went back and looked at that. And, his closing about us coming together and, making sure that we come together as a nation, even though they were having an extremely hard-fought battle at the time for, their election. It was bitter. They were screaming at each other, accusing everybody, trying to put him in jail, everything. And almost 8 years later, 2024, here we are again. We're right back where we were. It's back to the future. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable that that's where we are. But, that's unfortunately what's going on now. And I don't know. I grew up a Catholic before I met Robin, and then I became a Baptist, and so I understand everything about, and I lived in Connecticut, so I understand this charity very well. I'm just trying to get something straight with my production here. Okay. And it just doesn't make any sense what's going on. So those of you who are just tuning in, I know I jumped in early because I wanted to time it out correctly. We've got a comedian that's coming out at 9 o'clock. Hopefully he'll be funny. We'll see how he is. And then Trump is due to talk at 9:15. And if you got in here late and you just jumped in, you didn't go back to the beginning, Kamala Harris is not going to be there. She declined. Nope, I'm not coming. I don't know if she's ever seen this 2016 event, but in 2016, as bad as they were battling, going back and forth, and with the emails and everything else, and all kinds of stuff was happening, she still showed up. He still showed up. And for a couple hours, one night for a couple of hours, they let go. Okay, let's. This is for the kids. This is to raise money for the kids. Okay, all right. I'll smile, you'll smile, our wives, our husbands will smile, and we'll get on with life, and I'll be back at you tomorrow. Kamala, I'm not going. I don't care about the kids. I don't care about the Catholic Church. I don't care that this is a historical thing that all presidents and candidates have done. I don't care. Not going. So instead, she sent them a video file, and said, play this instead of me coming. So I don't know what's going to be on the videotape. I'm sure, I don't even know if I want to see it, because if she doesn't want to show the respect for showing up, I don't even know why we have to show the respect of even watching it. I don't know what Cardinal Dolan just doesn't delete it off his computer or wherever and just says, the hell with you, Kamala. If you don't personally show up, we're not going to sit here and let you play a video and say what you want. The whole idea is to be able to sit across from the other candidate and roast them. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Some of my best memories are watching Dean Martin roast. They were hilarious back then. I mean, you couldn't show them these days, because if you showed them these days, it's offensive. My nipples are hurting. You can't say that. It's racist. I mean, one of the best ones I ever saw was with Richard Pryor and Don Rickles, and you couldn't even dare show that on YouTube these days. We show it on X, but you couldn't even show it on YouTube, because the two of them, racy. They didn't care back then. Comedians were comedians back then. It was funny. It was to make you laugh. Yeah, you made fun of people. You made fun of fat people. You made fun of people who wore glasses. You made fun of black people. You made fun of people lighting the feathers. Everything. Because it was called comedy. So tonight we're going to see some comedy. We have a comedian coming up shortly. And then Donald Trump shortly thereafter. I guess the comedian's going to go on, and then right thereafter, Trump will come on. But even Obama showed up to this thing. So what makes her so special? Remember, I don't know if you heard earlier, but the only other person is you have to go all the way back to Walter Mondale in 1984 is the only other candidate who never showed up. So she's broken a record. It's absolutely nuts. Makes no sense whatsoever. And let me just preface this one more time. This is not a campaign speech. The reason why I wanted to show that video was because I wanted to get you guys in the mood, get you to understand what's about to happen. It's all fun. It's jest. It's making fun of and light of things. No campaigns. No hard hitting. The jokes might be hard-hitting. I think you guys will enjoy it. I'm pretty sure Trump, before he had been going as a benefactor. He had been sponsoring things. Then he went in 2020 as well, because he was running against Dementia Joe. So this is going to be his third time as a speaker, and he has spoken much more than he was back there in 2016. So I'm expecting him to bring some zingers. Let's see, I love the Dean Martin roasts. They were awesome. If you ever have a chance, I don't know if they're on Netflix or I don't know where you can find them, but bring up some of those Dean Martin roasts. You will laugh your butt off. I mean, they are absolutely funny. He goes, I remember watching that roast. Yeah, it's great. She is still crying. Who, Kamala? Yeah, she's probably crying and drunk. She's afraid of showing her temper, and she must be in charge. Well, she showed her butt today, as my mom used to say. You showed your A. She was screaming at a rally. I mean, talk about looking Hitlerian. She was looking crazy, absolutely crazy. And then Timmy Waltz did the same thing. Tim Waltz said something really stupid. He goes, Donald Trump doesn't know what it's like to have to eat or be hungry. My mom is 90 years old, and she depends on her Social Security check to eat every single month. And I thought to myself, you POS. You number one, I know you're lying. I'm hoping you're lying. And number two, you're telling me you're the governor of the state of Minnesota, and your mom has to wait for a Social Security check to eat? I hope you were lying, because if you're telling the truth, you're even a bigger POS than we thought you were. You're not taking care of your mom, man? Seriously, bro? Man, that's horrible. Yeah, they're desperate at this point, which I think this is the perfect timing for this. Last night, we saw her just implode, completely implode. And then tonight, it's all going to be laughed, and it's going to be at her expense. She's not going to be there. Usually, as you saw in that video, as Trump was making a joke about Hillary, they panned the camera to her. So they showed her. So her being a good sport, a polished politician, she laughed, she smiled. Was no anger there. She got her. She got to, go up against him as well. And then Melania was there, and he made fun of his wife, when that whole plagiarism scandal came up. If I'm Trump and I'm looking to go to this event, and I'm talking to the writers, I'm like, okay, what? Oh yeah, we got all kinds of stuff. Actually, if I'm a writer for tonight for Trump, we probably had to whittle it down. We got too much stuff. Remember, nothing is off limits here. They can talk about Doug and the nanny. Just imagine. And that's probably why she didn't show up. She probably felt that she couldn't stand toe-to-toe with him. She's a weakling, empathetic. How can anyone with an ounce of brain matter vote for her? I have no idea. Kamala hates huge events. You have to wonder why. Chuck, that was funny too when he turned around and talked to Chuck Schumer. Oh, Randy, you're so right. I don't know if any of you, Randy, you're going to make me show my age, and you're showing your age, but Foster Brooks on those roasts, playing the drunk was side-splitting funny. If you never saw Foster Brooks in his heyday, he played a drunk to the point where you're like, that guy's really drunk. He's not playing a drunk. He's really drunk. He was awesome. The one roasting Frank Sinatra by Jonathan Winters. I could watch Jonathan Winters all day. I mean, his movies were fantastic, but that roast of Frank Sinatra, he thought they were going to send the goons at him. That was really funny. I don't think anyone will miss her. Yes, those of you who saw Don Rickles, imagine that guy would not have a career today. Think of all the comedians right now that wouldn't have careers. And some of them aren't that, ancient. I doubt Eddie Murphy could have a career. Dave Chappelle is on the edge of not having, being able to have a career. He's doing well, but they're trying to shut him down. Eddie Murphy, if you're not playing the donkey, you're in big trouble. Let me see if the comedian's coming up to the stage yet. Not yet. As soon as he comes up. So I'm looking at, they have an empty chair where Kamala is supposed to be sitting. Oh my goodness, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. So Melania is sitting right next to Donald, which you will see in a second as soon as they... You know what? I can probably go to a split screen because I doubt they're playing music, so I can... And there's no copyright here. So let me go ahead and split the screen up so you guys can see. Hopefully there's no music. Let's see.
Both Irish Catholic, were both from Chicago, were both Hoyas. We both needed the grace of Father Leo O'Donovan to help make sure that we got through Georgetown University. Thank you. And we both married way above our league with Jeannie and Philip. And after that, our two paths diverged, and I became a nerdy investor, and he became one of the funniest men on the planet. And tonight, we get to celebrate with kicking off with Jim Gaffigan.
Let me know how the volume is, everybody.
Times bestseller author, a 3-time Emmy-winning performer, and a 7-time Grammy-nominated actor. And you are known, very importantly here tonight, as the king of clean comedy. And that is exactly what tonight has called for. And on a little bit more serious note, I don't know if I would have made it through the past couple of weeks without your humor and your ability to help me get through these last challenging times, as we've had a few hiccups along the way. And so, in the spirit of what Sister Mary Catherine says, God bless you. Let the games begin.
Thank you, thank you. Good evening, rich people. I gotta be honest, I feel like I'm at a casting call for Daddy Warbucks. And I'm not gonna get the job. Welcome, Your Eminence, President Trump, First Lady, random millionaires who are not yet billionaires. Welcome to the 79th annual Al Smith Memorial Dinner. As you can, please give it up. Yeah. As you can see how we're dressed, the theme again is let them eat cake. Now I understand some of you may recognize me as the guy who plays Tim Walz on SNL, but I want you to know that I'm going to be fair and balanced tonight, and I'm going to make jokes about both Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't address the elephant in the room. You know, you're all thinking about it. Let me just cut to the point and point out who's not here. And of course, I'm talking about the middle class. That filthy group of people. Right, Chuck? Do you know what I'm talking about? Can we have a round of applause for Chuck Schumer? Right? See, he does like being near microphones. Now, but seriously, this is a special night, people. This is the one night when Republicans and Democrats who used to be Republican and Republicans who used to be Democrats and independents and whatever Michael Bloomberg is now, we can... There he is. He's up there. I love how the front row doesn't even look at me. You know what I mean? Like, do those seats cost more? How much does it cost to not have to look at Gaffigan? That's my Bloomberg impression. I don't know about you. I think this is exciting. This is very exciting, right? We are 19 days until the election and likely a civil war. And, you know, I'm nervous. You know what I mean? It's like, this is my first civil war, guys. I don't own a musket. Have we decided who's wearing blue and who's wearing gray? Because I look better in blue because of my eyes, you know? But, of course, let's acknowledge our host for the evening, the Archbishop of New York, Timothy Michael Cardinal Dolan. Timothy Michael Cardinal Dolan. You know, I tell you, as the father of 5, saying that name feels like I'm trying to get my kids to come to dinner. Timothy Michael Cardinal dinner. My wife and I, we do have 3 boys, and I hope our son Cardinal doesn't feel too much pressure to become a priest. Full disclosure, Cardinal Dolan is also a friend of mine, and I would never put him on the spot, but Cardinal Dolan, I'm curious. The Pope did say that this election is a choice between the lesser of 2 evils. And so, 2-part question. 1, do you agree? And 2, who's more evil? All right, I'll come back to you. This, of course, is a Catholic event honoring Governor Al Smith, who in 1928 was the first Catholic to run on a major party. To put that in perspective, in 1928, Chuck Schumer was a first-term senator. Thanks for sitting here, Chuck. Of course, Joe Biden was our second Catholic president, right? After JFK. President Biden couldn't be here tonight. The DNC made sure of that. That's... I guess I'm the only one that reads history. But this is a Catholic event. I'm Catholic. Any Catholics here? Yeah. They're yelling because it's hard to clap when you're holding a cocktail. Right? You know, if I could, I'd like to talk about my faith for a moment. Personally, I am Catholic because I truly believe that's what my wife wants. In a way, she is my higher power and definitely a punishing God. Yeah. It's true. I was raised Catholic, but I am Catholic today because of my wife, and she didn't pressure me. She just said, this is what you believe now. And, you know, it wasn't like the Spanish Inquisition. There was an implied convert or die. My beautiful wife, Jeannie, is here with us tonight. She's not sitting on the dais. She's sitting out there with all those losers that are only millionaires. You know, it's like pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right, Chuck? Right. Yeah. Today is a special day. Today, my wife Jeannie and I are celebrating our 21st wedding anniversary. Thank you. Thank you. We're not. That's a lie. But being on a dais filled with politicians, journalists, and business people, I felt obligated to tell a lie. You know, I didn't want them to feel out of place. Besides, I don't know when our anniversary is. You know, this event has been referred to as the Catholic Met Gala. 22% of Americans identify as Catholic. Catholics will be a key demographic in every battleground state. I'm sorry, why is Vice President Harris not here? I mean, consider this. This is a room full of Catholics and Jews in New York City. This is a layup for the Democratic nominee. I mean, in her defense, she did find time to appear on The View, Howard Stern, Colbert, and the longtime staple of campaigning, the Call Her Daddy podcast. You know what I think it is? I think she doesn't like me. Chuck, do I have bad breath? But I love New York City. I believe that this city is the greatest city on earth. I do believe that. I have lived here for 35 years. I'm raising my children here, which is not for everyone. Sometimes a friend from home will ask, why are you raising your children in New York City? And I always say the same thing, because I don't want them to end up like you. We've raised all 5 of our children in downtown Manhattan, and I can honestly tell you, it was a mistake. I don't know if you remember, but there was a time when you could walk a city block and not smell pot. And don't get me wrong, I love driving an hour and a half to Randall's Island to watch my son play soccer for 20 minutes. Of course, New York City is where Donald Trump was raised, right? And he turned out great. Yet New York is a state that Donald Trump statistically has little chance to win. Who says you can't go home again? Apparently 20 million people. We should not, but let's not let this dais of dignitaries dressed like, background actors on Downton Abbey distract from the significant achievement we've made tonight. I mean this in all sincerity. The money that we've raised tonight is significant and will have a positive impact. And after we pressure Mike Bloomberg to give more money, we will break $10 million. $10 million. Everyone look at Michael Bloomberg and tell him he should give more money. $10 million is pretty impressive. You know what I mean? Granted, it could get you a studio apartment in Manhattan, which seems, expensive, especially considering you can get a mayor for 2 business class flights. Did I break I didn't think we had borders anymore. All right, let's go positive here. Can we have a round of applause for First Lady Melania Trump? Who presently has the #1 book in America. Yeah. And by the way, Jesus taught us to forgive 7 times. Not 7 times, but 70 times 7. And Melania, you may be the first person to actually reach that. What's that? Oh, well, she surpassed it. Congratulations. Looking at this impressive dais of attendees up here, I never know how to address you people. Do you prefer, global elite or coastal elite? I know we live in sensitive times, and I don't want to mislabel anyone. I'm personally excited to be up here, and not just because you make me look young and principled. This seating arrangement is weird, right? It looks like the plutocrats are about to play Family Feud. And the survey says, whatever you want. This dais, actually, let's be honest, this entire room is filled with some of the most powerful people in New York City, and Brian Kilmeade. Remember Brian, I told you? Brian and I started doing stand-up together, so we're friends, hopefully. You know, because this room is, I'm glad you guys have a sense of humor about this, because this room is undeniably impressive. It really is. The prestige, the wealth, the allegations. I mean, wow. And don't feel bad if you don't have any allegations yet, okay? Which reminds me, Letitia James is here. She had a great year. She's just back there watching all of you. She's watching. By the way, can I point out that this is a very nimble thing that I'm trying to do, Brian? Because if I am too critical of Vice President Harris, I will, I will lose friendships and mess up my career. And if I am too critical of President Trump, I will lose friendships and improve my career. You know what I mean? We have an amazing... by the way, RFK Jr. is here. Welcome, sir. RFK Jr. He, of course, is going to make America... he's part of the MAGA Make America Healthy Again. Right? I don't know if he's seen what Donald Trump eats. But Donald Trump eats like, well, me and the Cardinal. Okay? And anyway, now the prompter guy. I went off book a little bit here. So anyway, I'd like to also welcome Mayor Adams, brought to you by Turkish Airlines. I was told to say that. It's a sponsorship deal, people. We have a lot of formers on the dais tonight. All right. Former mayors, former governors, former respected journalists. Is there any other kind, really? Now, I understand some people may have an issue with a journalist appearing on a dais, hobnobbing with the rich and powerful. It would appear like a clear conflict of interest, and that's because it absolutely is. Look, the days of Walter Cronkite are gone. Most journalists have their own TikTok. The President Trump regularly appears on a show called Fox and Friends. That's not a mistake. He's their best friend. Former Mayor Bloomberg is here. Mayor Bloomberg, you're going to close that deal on bringing us to 10 million? Can you just... Not an agreement, sir. Okay. Now, by the way, there are rumors that Mayor Bloomberg is planning to run for mayor. I don't know if that's true. Quick question, Mayor Bloomberg. When you buy an election, do you put it on a credit card so you can get the points? Because that's what I would do. I already did the RFK joke, so. Anyway, the one thing that I'm going to say is that I feel like Donald Trump, make America healthy again. I feel like Donald Trump would probably be less loyal to RFK than he would be to KFC. You know what I mean? It's like, I think the rank of Colonel Sanders. Some of these I wrote during lunch. Woody Johnson is here tonight, owner of the New York Jets, heir to the Johnson & Johnson pharmaceutical fortune. You know, in divisive times, sir, you are a shining example, okay? If the head of Johnson & Johnson can sign an unvaxxed quarterback, maybe there is hope for this country. All right? Not only is Woody Johnson here, Robert Kraft, owner of the New England Patriots, is here. Welcome. By the way, as we know, they are bitter rivals on the football field. But here tonight, they're here for the same reason. Billionaires supporting Trump. It's really beautiful. We are 19 days from the election. This presidential election, it's been different, right? I mean, it's crazy because there's no Russian interference, no Facebook. It's crazy. It's being left up to American voters and 4 billionaires. The Cardinal wrote that joke. There is one group that baffles me, and I think it baffles most everyone in this country, and I'm talking about the undecided voter. Are you kidding me? I mean, are you kidding me? You don't know who you're voting for? You don't see a difference between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump.
I told you.
Like, nobody has ever thought, wait, is that a Trump quote or a Harris quote? The media has begun discussing the phenomena of secret Trump voters. I don't know if you've heard about this. People who publicly say they would never vote for Trump, but then when they go in the voting booth, they do. It's a small group. They're called the Biden family. You know, I think we'd all agree that, you know, we live in divided times, and whoever is elected in November, I hope they establish an initiative to heal the divide that exists in this country. And I have a great name for this. It could be called Project 2025. It has a nice, Chuck, do you like it? Okay. Our first presentation tonight will be by Vice President Kamala Harris, okay? You have to admit, the Democrats have done an amazing job rebranding Vice President Harris, right? The term joyful warrior was used so many times at the Democratic convention, I felt like I was at a yoga retreat. Let's start off in a joyful warrior pose, and then go straight into downward-facing Doug Emhoff. Good. Now laugh uncontrollably. Remember to breathe. Vice President Harris's trajectory has been astounding. In just the course of a couple months, she went from mediocre vice president to everyone's mamala. This is, of course, a historic race for many reasons, right? If Vice President Harris wins this election, not only would she be the first female president, a black woman would occupy the White House, a former Trump resident. Obviously, you wouldn't be renting to her. I mean, that would never happen anyway. Maybe if Doug did the signing. All right. That one didn't work. Yeah, this has been an interesting presidential campaign. The Democrats have been telling us Trump's re-election is a threat to democracy. In fact, they were so concerned of this threat, they staged a coup, ousted their democratically elected incumbent, and installed Kamala Harris.
Oh, boy.
In other words, all her dreams have come true. Really? It really makes you consider the power of prayer, right, Cardinal? Sometimes prayers take 3.5 years and a George Clooney op-ed. Yeah. I don't know who's angry, but I don't care. Anyway, can I point out, so it's a, you know, I think I should get right to, it's that, you know, now I am turning into Tim Walz. But Vice President Harris did have a scheduling conflict, but was generous enough to send us this video. Let's take a look.
Oh, yeah, let's look
Your
at
Eminence
this.
and distinguished guests, the Al Smith dinner provides a rare opportunity to set aside partisanship.
Sorry.
Hey, what's going on? Who was that?
Sorry, Mary Catherine. Mary Catherine. It's so nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, Mary Catherine. Right now I'm trying to record my speech for tonight's dinner.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just want to say that I'm Catholic, and tonight is one of the biggest dinners next to the Last Supper.
It is a very important dinner, and it's an important tradition that I'm so proud to be a part of.
Sometimes when I get nervous, I stick my fingers under my arms and I spin on like that. That's gross.
So tell me something. I'm giving a speech. Do you have some thoughts about what I might say tonight?
My feelings about what you say tonight would be best expressed in a monologue from one of my favorite made-for-TV series.
Okay, let's hear it.
Don't you see, man? We need a woman to represent us. A woman brings more heart, more compassion. And think how smart she must be to become a top contender in a field dominated by men. It's time for a woman, bro. And with this woman, we can fly.
What series was that from?
Oh, that's from House of Dragons, now streaming on HBO Max.
Is there anything that you think that maybe I shouldn't bring up tonight?
Well, don't lie. Thou shalt not bear false witness to thy neighbor.
Indeed, especially thy neighbor's election results.
Just so you know, there will be a fact checker there tonight.
Oh, that's great. Who?
Jesus. And maybe don't say anything negative about Catholics.
I would never do that, no matter where I was. That would be like criticizing Detroit in Detroit.
Does it bother you that Trump guy insults you all the time? Because it really bothers my friends and me.
Oh, Mary Catherine, it's very important to always remember you should never let anyone tell you who you are. You tell them who you are.
Haters gonna hate. Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off. Good for you, Mary Catherine.
Oh, yeah, okay. And also remember one more thing. Don't worry if you make a mistake, because Catholic people are very forgiving. Yeah. And also, one last thing I want to tell you, don't forget to say, superstar!
Thank you, Mary Catherine.
Thank you, Mamala.
Thank you. Your Eminence and distinguished guests, the Al Smith dinner provides a rare opportunity to set aside partisanship and come together to do some good by supporting the tremendous charitable work of the Catholic Church. The Church cares for the sick and feeds the hungry, supports families with housing and education, and in times of disaster provides not only essential supplies, but also, and so importantly, a sense of hope. The Gospel of Luke tells us that faith has the power to shine a light on those living in darkness and to guide our feet in the path of peace. In the spirit of tonight's dinner, let us recommit to reaching across divides to seek understanding and common ground. And in honor of the great Al Smith, let us fight to build a better future with faith in God, our country, and in each other. Thank you. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
Weak sauce. Weak.
I don't even know what that noise you're making is. So, I don't know. As I watched that, I couldn't help but think of, now I know how my kids felt when I FaceTimed into a piano recital they were at. Anyway. That only makes sense if you travel a lot. By the way, now it's time for the main event, okay? Let's get ready to rumble. This is also the only part of the show that you will see on Fox News. Shortly, I will introduce President Trump, who will likely talk about how Vice President Harris's absence proves that she hates Catholics, Americans, and babies. Then CNN and MSNBC will say President Trump went too far, and Elon Musk and Fox News will say he was pitch perfect. You know, during the first and only debate, President Trump talked about migrants taking cats and eating them. You know, if you're keeping track at home, this is the second time grabbing a kitty has been part of a campaign issue. You know,
We talked about leaving that out.
I was going to leave that out. But here's the thing that's so amazing about Donald Trump. It is impossible to not have a strong opinion about President Trump. You either think he is endearingly outspoken and brash, or you think he's a sociopath, and you'd like to be his running mate. Donald Trump and I have a lot in common. We both have 5 children. We both have a lush mane of golden hair. And we both try to travel as much as possible to get away from our families. President Trump, before I invite you up here to the podium, I want you to know if you are reelected, I always liked you. And I'm not saying that because I don't want to be sent to a labor camp. Well, I guess that's the reason, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring up a man who loves New York City. He is the Republican nominee and the 45th President of the United States, President Donald J. Trump.
Thank you, everybody. Well, thank you very much. It's an honor. And they told me under no circumstances are you allowed to use a teleprompter. And I got up here and I see this beautiful teleprompter. So here I am. But it is a tremendous thing. It's a tremendous dinner. I've come here with my father. So it was 3 times, but it was also many times before that, a long time ago, and it's a very special dinner. And you've done a fantastic job, Cardinal. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So I'd like to thank Your Eminence very much, and members of the clergy, so many people I know. Speaker of the House Johnson, what a job you're doing. He's done a great job. Senator Schumer, good. Yeah, I supported him. I don't know. He used to say that's true, and now I'm not sure he would, but I gave him his first check from an office in Beach Haven, and I was very proud of it. I don't know about lately. No, I was. It was his first check. He was running, and I said, he's a good man. Senator Gillibrand, thank you very much. Thank you very much for working hard. Governor Hochul, wherever you may be up, this is a big day, that's right. Where is the governor? Good job. It's not an easy one, is it? But you're doing all right. We have to get a little money from the federal government, I have to tell you. It's about time. It's about time. Mayor Adams, good luck with everything. They went after you. They went after you, Mayor. Yeah, boy, I knew that. 9.5 months ago, I said, he just said something about the administration. He's going to be indicted any moment. And guess what happened? But you're going to win. I think you're going to win. I know you're going to win. So good luck. Good luck. I don't like what they do. And also distinguished guests. So many friends up here. It's great. A lot of great friends. I'm some of my best friends. And you are right, they are distinguished and they are wealthy for the most part. A couple are having a hard time, but they're going to get over it. I also want to thank my very beautiful wife, and thank you for mentioning, but can you believe this? She did a book, and it's a really good book, and she worked hard on it, and it just became number one on the New York Times list, so I think that's okay. That's not an easy thing to do, especially when your name is Trump and you're on the New York Times list. That must be selling like hotcakes. But thank you for mentioning. I appreciate it. Good job you did. It's a true pleasure to be with you this evening. Amazing pleasure. And these days it's really a pleasure anywhere in New York without a subpoena for my appearance. Anytime I don't get a subpoena, I'm very happy. They've gone after me, Mr. Mayor. You're peanuts compared to what they've done to me. And you're going to be okay. But I have to be careful, however, to understand that this will be the first time in the history of this event where jokes will be fact-checked, and they will be. And they will be. It's been a long tradition for both Democrat and Republican candidates for President of the United States to attend this dinner. It's a rule. You got to go to the dinner. You got to do it. Otherwise, bad things are going to happen to you from up there. You can't do what I just saw on that screen. But my opponent feels like she does not have to be here, which is deeply disrespectful to the event and in particular to our great Catholic community. Very disrespectful.
Oh, they applauded that. Wow.
The last Democrat not to attend this important event was Walter Mondale, and it did not go very well for him. He lost 49 states and he won one, Minnesota. So I said, there's no way I'm missing it. Actually, it was not easy for me to get here tonight. Cardinal, I wasn't going to miss this thing, no matter, I didn't care. I wasn't going to miss it. But that's true. Walter Mondale, 49-1. He was expected to do well, and it didn't work out. It shows you there is a God. I mean, for those people that are questioning it. I understand the real reason that she's not here is she's hunting with her running mate, spending a lot of time hunting. In any event, it's a weird. You know the word weird. They call me weird. They call JD weird. We're very solid people. This guy is calling us weird, but this was weird that the Democrat candidate is not here and with us tonight. I want to also congratulate somebody's going to make us all healthy. RFK Jr., we love you. I don't see him. He's campaigning all over the place. He's campaigning. You're all over. Hello, you both. Nice to see you both. You're doing a good job. He's a great guy, too. He really is. He's going to make us a healthier place. We're going to let him go wild for a little while. Then I'm going to have to maybe rein him back. Because he's got some pretty wild ideas, but most of them are really good, I think. He's a good man, and he believes the environment, the healthy people. He wants healthy people. He wants healthy food. And he's going to do it. He's going to have a big chance to do it because we do need that. I would not have missed the Al Smith dinner for anything in the world. I still remember coming here as a very young guy with my father, Fred. He was a great guy, my father. He was a tough cookie, but he had a very big heart. Anytime we'd walk down the street, and you don't see it too much anymore, there'd be people standing with tin cans, and he would always take out $100 and put it in that can. And I always thought it was beautiful. And frankly, I even think more so now it was beautiful, because nowadays you don't see it so much. But I miss him, and we used to come here very religiously. And a great New York tradition has been born 79 years ago. It was born 79 years ago, and there are some people that were here for almost that length. I know many of them, and it's not a pretty picture. Not a pretty picture. The two candidates for president are supposed to exchange good-natured barbs, and you know we get along very well. I didn't like Biden very much, and now I like him quite a bit. You know, and now I say that she's much worse than him. He was a much better candidate than her, actually. And when we hopefully win, dispose of her, I like her a lot, but right now I can't stand her. It's true. I can't stand her. I've never liked people that I was competing against. When you do, a lot of bad things happen. And we are doing well. By the way, the votes are starting to come in. You got to get out and vote. And Catholics, you got to vote for me. Just remember. You better remember I'm here, and she's not. I could have done that too. But you do something that's incredible. The Catholic Church, you're helping the poor, educating children, and supporting the vulnerable. But if you really wanted Vice President Harris to accept your invitation, I guess you should have told her the funds were going to bail out the looters and rioters in Minneapolis, and she would have been here, guaranteed she would have been here. Guaranteed. She would have been okay. She would have been okay with that. But I know this isn't my normal crowd tonight, because it just isn't. It's not my normal crowd. Believe me, my normal crowd is younger, has a lot more energy. But you have certain advantages, too, like cash, lots of cash. But many of you are Manhattan liberals from the media and the Democrat Party. I always say the Democrat, you know, Chuck doesn't like that. He likes Democratic, and it sounds much more beautiful, the Democratic Party. I always say the Democrat Party because it sounds worse. It is true. He likes Democratic. Why don't they just change the name? This way, you know, it is Democrat. But I must say I was shocked when I heard that Kamala was skipping the Al Smith dinner. I'd really hoped that she would come, because we can't get enough of hearing her beautiful laugh. She laughs like crazy. We would recognize it any place in this room, and all polls are indicating I'm leading big with the Catholic vote, as I should be, But I don't think Kamala has given up yet. She hasn't. Instead of attending tonight, she's in Michigan receiving communion from Gretchen Whitmer. That's not a pretty sight. But Catholics, please don't be too insulted by Kamala's absence. If the Democrats, thank you very much, I appreciate it. If Democrats really wanted to have someone not be with us this evening, they would have just sent Joe Biden. You know, he's having second thoughts, you know that, right? He wants to come back. If she does any worse in the polls, they're going to bring him back again, I think. Chuck, he's going to do it. He's the one that got him out. That's the guy. Much more so than Crazy Nancy, I will tell you. Because I know him. He did it. Joe has almost disappeared from view. The only way he could be seen less is if he had a show on CNN. They had nothing. They've got nothing. Fake news, right? Fake. That term wasn't good. You know, they say that term is no longer in vogue because it's much worse than fake. I don't want to tell you what the real name is. I won't do it, because all those cameras would shut off immediately. They don't like that. But apparently Joe didn't think it was fair for me to have the podium to myself with Kamala skipping the event. So he called, looked at me, and said, "Don't." Does anybody understand that? Yeah. I thought it was actually very good until just now. It was announced this morning that at a funeral yesterday, in a rare moment of clarity, Joe told Barack Hussein Obama that, quote, only a few people got that. Or as Rush Limbaugh used to say, Barack Hussein Obama. Remember, bro? He was a piece of work. We miss him. But as he told Barack Hussein Obama, quote, "She's not as strong as me. She's not as strong. Do you understand that?" And Obama agreed, saying, "That's true. Other than that, I think the Democrats are getting along quite well." Right? Nobody got that one. The fact is, we need new leadership in this country. Right now, we have someone in the White House who can barely talk, barely put together two coherent sentences, who seems to have mental faculties of a child. It's sad. There's a person that has nothing going, no intelligence whatsoever, but enough about Kamala Harris. Let's get on to something else. I know Kamala's word because she spends a lot of time complaining. I won't agree to another debate. But the truth is I've debated twice this year, once against Joe Biden and once against David Muir of ABC. That was amazing, 11 times. None for the other side. Do you think that's fair news? I don't think so. That's fake news. I don't know what's going to happen 3 weeks from now. It's going to be very interesting. It just started. It's actually, isn't it sort of exciting? Right? It really, isn't it just exciting what's going on? It's a process. It's a rough process, too. Not so pretty, and yet sometimes very beautiful. But the press is reporting the Democrats are starting to panic. They're panicking. They are panicking because, you know, the votes that are coming in very, very strong a certain way. I won't tell you what way that is, but Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum. But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president. And I actually said, do you mind if I do that? And he said, no, you got to do what you got to do. He's a pro. He's a professional. No, he's a good man, actually. I hate to say it. Don't ever use it against me, please. I'll say this dinner was really setting me back when I say that, but I've known him a long time. There's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this? White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris? Doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me. Every one of those people is voting for me. And as you may have seen, Kamala did an interview on Fox News yesterday. It went so poorly for her that the Democrats have been forced to install another 100 drop boxes throughout the city. And the upside really is Kamala now sees the benefit of deportation. She wants to deport people. She's vicious. She wants to deport people, and she wants to start by deporting Brett Baier of Fox. It's an interesting interview last night. Huh? A major issue in this race is child care, and Kamala has put forward a concept of a plan. A lot of people don't like it. The only piece of advice I would have for her in the event that she wins would be not to let her husband, Doug, anywhere near the nannies. Just keep him away. That's a nasty one. That's nasty. I told these idiots that gave me this stuff, that's too tough. Oh, I did. You know, they told me the last time I did this, I was running against Crooked Hillary. Hillary. No, I was running against Crooked Hillary, and I did it. And I thought it was a roast. So I was told it's a roast. And I had the meanest guy you've ever seen write stuff up. And man, was the room angry. Even the Cardinal remembers. I went overboard. Don't you agree, Cardinal? It was like terrible. And I knew I was in trouble around midway through because, you know, people are not, even my own side was angry at me. They were saying it's too much. But I did it anyway. I didn't give it away. Campaigning can take a toll on a family and family life, although I hear that Kamala and her husband carve out some really beautiful alone time at the end of the day for an intimate dinner, just Doug, her, and the teleprompter that she uses quite well. And by the way, she wouldn't have liked this tonight if she was told about no teleprompter. I can't believe I saw a teleprompter. They said they've never had a teleprompter in the history of this dinner. I told that to the Cardinal, right? And then a teleprompter pops up for, he must be a very important comedian to get that. They give you one, but not me. How about that one? Huh? Come here. Yeah, and you did a good job. Tradition holds that I'm supposed to tell a few self-deprecating jokes this evening. So here it goes. Nope. I've got nothing. I've got nothing. There's nothing to say. I guess I just don't see the point of taking shots at myself when other people have been shooting at me for a hell of a long time and they shoot hard. You know, they say about presidents, they say that Andrew Jackson was the president that was the most meanly treated. His wife died. She died of heartache. She was heartbroken at the way they treated him. And they say that second was Abraham Lincoln, but he was in charge of a civil war, you know. So, but those were the two, Andrew Jackson. Up until me, now they say it's not even close. There's never been a president that's been treated so badly as me, and our people aren't happy about it. But I was treated a little bit rough. But I don't mind it somehow, and I think it's just part of the game. I'd like to thank our MC this evening, Jim Gaffigan. Most recently, Jim has been playing Tim Waltz on Saturday Night Live. And that'll be a very short gig, I hope, Jim. But it was fun while it lasted, wasn't it? Let's see how that lasts. It better be quick. We don't want him, and I'm not going to say anymore. But unfortunately, Governor Waltz isn't here himself, but don't worry, he'll say that he was. He's going to say he was. I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Waltz. The stupid show, The View, is so bad now that the other day I was watching it and thinking to myself, you know what? They really need to bring Rosie O'Donnell back. That show is bad. Those people are bad. I know every one of them, and they are bad news, I want to tell you. And it doesn't do very well either. I always like to say, ratings are very important. When they don't do well, it doesn't do very well. As I look around the dais, I see all of the usual suspects. For instance, Mayor Adams. I'd like to poke some fun at Eric, but I'm going to be nice. I just want to be nice because I know what it's like to be persecuted by the DOJ for speaking out against open borders. We were persecuted, Eric. I was persecuted, and so are you, Eric. The mayor's dietary restrictions are well known, but I've got to say I've never met a person who's a vegan who liked turkey so much. There's something about him with turkey. I just found that out today. I haven't been in New York that much. Don't let it, but you're going to win, Eric. We have another former New York City mayor with us, frankly, easily the worst in our history. And it's not Michael, that I can tell you. I'm surprised that Bill de Blasio was actually able to make it tonight, to be honest. He was a terrible mayor. I don't give a shit if this is comedy or not. He was a terrible mayor. He did a horrible job. That's not comedy, by the way, that's fact. But unlike the rest of New York, at least Bill doesn't have to worry about the criminals. They owe him big. He let them get away with a lot of stuff. Well, I'd better wrap up because Mayor Adams told me earlier that I needed to make this one very quick, especially the city has reserved this room for a large group of illegal aliens coming in from Texas. That's right, they've reserved many rooms, a lot of rooms, too many rooms. But in all seriousness, it's an honor to be here to support the city and the community. It's a great community that I love. I've been here a long time and I love it. And then it's going to make a big comeback, and I'm going to help it make a comeback. I'm going to win, and I'm going to make a comeback. We're going to turn this thing around. And I want to pay tribute to a really incredible man, a man who was a tremendous politician. And actually, the fact that he was Catholic it probably did him in, right? Nobody knows for sure. But he was a great guy, Al Smith, great guy. Everyone says it, happy warrior. I've said before that I'll say it again as many times as I have to, directly to the mayor and the governor. If I have the honor to be elected next month, we're going to see what happens. It's happening so fast, but if I have the honor, I look forward to working together to make this city greater than ever before. We're going to do that. We're going to be focused on. I'll work with the governor. I'll work with the mayor, Democrats. I will work with them. I work with whoever I have to, and we will even work very hard to bring back the SALT tax deduction. We're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back. We're going to get that thing going, Chuck, okay? I actually thought about not doing jokes tonight. I was going to come out here and say, listen, our country is doing very badly. This is not about jokes. And then some person said, you have to do jokes. I said, I don't want to. There's nothing funny about what's happening to our country. And I actually meant that. I was going to do that. But they convinced me to say some of the things I said tonight. I don't know if they were funny or not, but hey, you think this is easy standing up here and doing this? In front of half a room that hates my guts and the other half loves me? Half of us love me. Well, maybe it's, I think 75% love me. But I actually do. I did think about that. And our country is doing very badly with respect to its open borders and inflation, crushing things happening in the Middle East and Ukraine. It's so sad to see what's happening in Ukraine. Wow. I had a lot of people very religious people come up to me tonight from Ukraine, and they're asking me for help. So sad to see so many people have been killed in Ukraine, and we're going to get it settled up if we win. As I'm president-elect, I'm going to get that done. I'm going to do it before we ever get back. We have to get it stopped. Too much killing. It's killing, and all of those cities are coming crashing down. Those beautiful golden domes are crashing down on their sides. They're so sad to see. The whole thing is so sad. So we're going to be, for all those people, there's so many people came up to the dais, and religious people from Ukraine, and I'm going to say, and I told them, don't worry, we're going to get it stopped. It's too bad it ever started. It should have never started. It wouldn't have started. But we're going to have our country respected again. We're going to make sure that it's respected, and we're going to go out and do very good things for ourselves as a country and for the world. These are challenging times for our beautiful USA, but I'm committed to working with every partner here in New York and all across the nation to build an America that once again is strong and safe and proud and prosperous and free. We're going to make sure together we can create a future defined by great ambitions and grand achievements that once again inspires the dreams of our children, brings back the American dream. You don't hear about the American dream anymore. We're going to make it possible for them to have the American dream. This is a very religious evening to me. It really is. It represents so much. My sister was somebody that loved the church and gave to the church. Cardinal knew that. Had a certain priest that she thought was incredible, right? A certain very, very fine man that she thought was incredible. Having recently, myself, survived 2 assassination attempts. I survived. I have a chart that went down to the right. Fortunately, I looked at it. It's my all-time favorite piece of paper. But it went down, and I looked to the right, and I said, was that luck? What was that, luck, or was that God that did that? And I think it was God that did that. I do. But I have a very fresh, Cardinal, I have a very fresh appreciation for how blessed we are by God's providence and His divine mercy. I mean, that was something, I was not supposed to be here tonight. That I can tell you. So with God's help, I know there is nothing that cannot be achieved. We can achieve so much good with this country and get together and unify. I want to thank the Al Smith Foundation for its noble work, and I want to express my tremendous gratitude to the Catholic community. It's a great community. It's a community I've gotten along with all my life. I tell you, when I was president, I was in the Oval Office, and I got a call from the Cardinal, and he said, we need help. It was during the China virus. I want to be accurate when I describe it. And he said, we need help. Our schools are in devastating shape. They needed much more than $1 billion. I won't even tell you the number, but much more than $1 billion. But I've known the community, and I've known the schools. I know so many people that were educated in the Catholic school system, and they are great, and they just speak with it like with love, much more so than almost any system that I've seen. And he said, sir, we have a big problem. We need a number of billions of dollars, or we're going to have to close down the New York school system, the whole system in New York. And I said, give me 15 minutes. I think I can find it. and we gave him billions of dollars. And you know what? He stayed open, and they thrived. And to this day, I hear you did just about the best job there is in education. So, and that was always an honor. That was always. And every time he sees me, he says, "Thank you very much." I said, "I know what you're talking about, but we worked together. We were a good partnership, right? We got that money in about 15 minutes, billions, and it was put to very good use." But I just want to thank everybody. This is a special evening. It's a very serious evening, I think. We have some serious problems in the world, but they're going to get solved, and we're going to make America great again. And thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Trump. This concludes our first half of the program. It is my honor. I would like to invite Cardinal Dolan back to the stage for some closing thoughts. Please welcome back the Cardinal.
If you don't mind, I want to hear the Cardinal take us out.
Mr. President, thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks most of all for bringing your wife. You're sure welcome here, Mrs. Trump. Thanks for coming. I just had a unique occasion. Can you imagine sitting here with Chuck Schumer on my right and Donald Trump on my left? That is a rare occurrence, folks, to have that. The president is right. We were blessed in the COVID crisis to have two very important New Yorkers who could help us. And you were right, Mr. President. You came through, and so did you, Senator Schumer. So thank you. Thank you very much. Jim, thank you. I knew you'd come through. You're as gracious as they come and as funny as they come. And Mary, we sure appreciate your leadership and that of the Alfred Smith Board. And most of all, I appreciate the leadership and the generosity of the people in this room this evening. My love and my gratitude to all of you. Thank you. So what do you say we just pray, all right? In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, let us pray. Dear Lord, when we're at a loss for words, which was hardly the case this evening, it's best just to whisper thanks. And that's our word as we conclude this glorious evening. Thanks, dear God and Father of us all. Thanks, Mary Erdos, and our renowned Al Smith Board, Susan and Kate and the staff. Thanks, Jim Gaffigan. Thanks, President and Mrs. Trump. Thanks to all of you who gave us an evening and a generous check to the women and kids in need, just like those who would crowd around Al Smith at the piano as he sang East Side, West Side. So, dear Lord, get us home safely, get us to bed soon, get us to rise tomorrow grateful as usual to you again, trusting in your gift of another day. Amen. Thanks, everybody. God bless. See you next year. All
right, everybody. Amen. Said it perfectly. Get you to bed, get you to rise, look for a new day. Let's start fighting again tomorrow. Let's just start ripping Kamala a new butt. I love hearing that. Let me just give you a programming update, let you know what we got going on tomorrow. Tomorrow we have 6:30. Trump's holding a huge rally in Michigan. Just checking his schedules. 6:30 tomorrow. Be here. Tune in. Huge rally in Michigan. So just so you guys realize this, it's 10 o'clock on the East Coast here in Manhattan. I'm sure Trump's heading over to Trump Tower, going to spend probably the night in Manhattan, and then take off tomorrow morning. So the guy might get some rest depending on how late he gets out of this event. I think Kamala Harris should be embarrassed. I think at this point Kamala Harris is toast. I think she's done. one of the things I was watching as this speech was going, I want to share with you, was, again, Polymarket. And as this thing was going on, this was happening on Polymarket. It just keeps going up. So everything that Trump is doing and everything that she is doing is now influencing what people are thinking. And she's gone down another 1.5 points since they began talking. And a lot of it happened, believe it or not, while that stupid video was going on. What amazed me is that she couldn't do a video. She couldn't, with heartfelt messaging, with the teleprompter, she couldn't give a speech. And you had to bring in an actor, a prop, to get you through what amounted to a 2 or 3 minute speech. That's what you had to do. You had to bring in some Hollywood actor to talk to a group of people that are basically, it's a home game for you. Most of those people are billionaires in New York who pretty much don't like Trump. So it was your home audience. And you let Trump come into your house and kick your butt. That was an away game, even though Trump lived in New York. That's an away game for him. Most of the people there don't like him. But he's sitting right next to Chuck Schumer. I mean, that could have been your seat, Kamala. You could have been sitting right next to Chucky. You could have went over and, high-fived your girl Letitia for going after Trump. You could have went and talked to Bill de Blasio, fellow comrade. So you had a support group there, and you chose not to go. Shame on you. Absolute shame. You deserve all of the denigration and piling on that comes your way for ignoring this. Doesn't make any sense. If de Blasio was there and Schumer was there, and obviously there were some millionaires and billionaires who weren't happy with Trump and are looking the other way and not clapping, and you chose just not to go, but you want checks from these people? What do you think's happening right now, Kamala? You see, here's what's happening right now. Trump's finished his speech. Cardinal Dolan gave the prayer on the way out. And Trump is turning around and talking to people. Every one of these people got big checkbooks. Every single one of them. And he's going to talk to them. It's going to basically turn into the Trump fundraiser. Robert Kraft, he owns the New England Patriots. I know he supports Trump. I know if Trump needs some extra money, he may say, hey, you got a couple bucks? Man, what a mistake. What an absolute mistake. Crazy. Absolutely nuts. Trump is a straight up OG. Yeah, he is. She simply can't handle it. Whatever the reasoning was, I'm sure the media will probably try to cover for her as much as possible. But people see this. You see this. I cannot even fathom, and I thank you so much. At one point, we had 35 or 36,000 concurrent viewers. I doubt all of them were Trump supporters. But now people looked at this and went, well, this man had to... he sat literally 5 feet away from a woman that was trying to take it $400 million from him. Letitia James was right over his shoulder, right behind him. That couldn't have gone unnoticed. I think other people in the audience went, oh, that's Letitia James. She's the one who's going after him. And he's talking to Eric Adams, and he's like, Eric, I know what you're going through, bro. They came from me. Man, that's powerful. And even if you don't like Trump, you have to look at the set on this guy to walk into New York and let everybody know I'm here. I'm here. I'm gonna go for it. Love it. Yeah, Trump he never backs down. Why should he? He's been shot at. He's been shot. At this point, he's like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna close this thing out in 2 weeks. I'm gonna win it. I'm gonna win it. What was her scheduling conflict? I don't know. Somebody, I clicked it, but it must be I missed it. I don't know what her scheduling conflict was. She did a speech earlier, but she's got a plane. It's New York. There's 2 major airports right there. She could have made it. There's no excuse. She didn't want to. She didn't want to face Trump. You remember the debate? She couldn't wait to get off the stage. And to look that man in the face while he was saying something to her. And plus, she knew she couldn't deliver it. She could, even though Trump was reading cards or notes, because it's not a normal speech. But he ad-libbed a couple times. Oh, by the way, I love the one about the white dudes for Harris's boyfriends. The white dudes for Harris's wife's boyfriend. Oh man, that's a good one. It's going to offend a whole bunch of them, though. But yeah, he went there. But she wouldn't have been able even to read off the cards. She couldn't have done the cadence. She couldn't have made it work. She could not have stuck the landing. Great. 3 major airports. Yeah, you're right. Because you got Newark right there. So you got Newark, JFK, and LaGuardia. She could have been there. This was her chance. Barry Trump did not cuss. Did Trump cuss? Nope. He said. I think he said the word shit one time, and that was about it. What else we got here? It was scheduled a year in advance. That's true. It was scheduled a year in advance. There's no such thing as a schedule conflict. I think it goes deeper. Oh, things are moving so fast. That's another thing. Kamala's against the church. She wouldn't be. I almost felt bad and wanted, the people in the room where she was doing her speech, when she was talking about the Catholics and quoting the Bible that she probably hasn't read. It was on a screen. Meanwhile, probably a couple hours ago, she was, waving the flag of baby removal. Are you serious? Are you really quoting the Bible when every single person knows your stance on baby removal? Wow, that's blasphemous, man. Come on, girl. That's some serious blasphemous stuff right there. Actually crazy. No conflict, but what do you expect in a vacuum? Man, for her to quote, oh yeah, Teterboro, that's another airport. You're right. There's 4 airports right there. For her, Molly, big mistake. Yeah. How could you have quoted that? Unbelievable. All right, everybody. So let me look at some super chats, but thank you all for tuning in on yet a second stream of the day. And like I said, guys, ladies, sometimes the stream quality isn't the best. Like there's no way to guarantee how it's coming through and what they're doing. So everybody's going to do their best. Everyone's going to try and bring you the best presentation as possible. Of course, I want to as well. So I don't want you to feel like I'm just giving you some sort of second-rate thing. But sometimes, it is what it is. All right, so let's go ahead and read off these super chats and get you guys out of here. Those of you that want to stay, stay, and the rest of you, thank you. Tune in tomorrow at 6:30. Vic Robinson, thank you. The best roast. Everyone there wants him out of the way. Yeah. Was Letitia James in the back row? Yep. Hey, Thomas, she was in the back row. Cheryl Clem, I was waiting for Foster Brooks to come out in the roast looking to have a beer with Kamala. That would have been cool. Sharon Richardson, wish I could do more, but don't ever apologize. But by the way, wouldn't it have been cool if Greg Gutfeld was the host? That would have, I understand the comedians have to keep it clean, but still. Pao Zhao, you need to watch the newsroom made in 2012. A young college girl asked a 3-person panel why America is great. Yep. Isn't that with the guy who was in Dumb and Dumber, I believe? Tommy Radcliffe, and the event gives time to spend an adult civilized fun night with humor to help the opposition feel human for a night. She doesn't respect anything. No, she could have just came and had fun and had a dinner and brought her husband. Joy Kirkland, thank you. Miss Fabulous, I hope Kamala's not staying away because they plan on taking down the whole event just to get rid of Donald. Nope, God's watching that. Just another knucklehead. Well, she finally got me. I believe I contracted. Tishiana Matthews, pay the Republic now. Katina, Calamity Kalama roasted herself. Yeah, by not going, she made it too easy for Trump. But that's how stupid she is. Stephen Trump Colwell, strength through joy is it's one of those slogans from the guy named Adolf. Thank you, Barry Trump fans 2024. Thank you, Charlene. Davey, notice where they seated Trump out the camera shot. Trump was third down. Hillary was second, along she was at camera all the time. Back in 2016, he's referring. KCT, do us proud, Donnie. He did. Devin Nipper, thank you. Lissa Miller, be a president is no joke. Stay strong, Trump. Miss Lorenex, thank you. Justin Hamsa, Texas for Trump. Absolutely. Jeremiah Kerr, Trump should have mentioned the money situation in the Catholic schools. It downgrades the speech, especially because he left it for the end. He should not have mentioned the money situation. I don't think it downgrades the speech. I think he said because it's something that was needed. Where a patriot, thumbs up if registered to vote and voting early. DVM Uncharted. If everyone opened their eyes tomorrow and asked how can I help and do so helping, in a week or two we will be living in paradise. Great comment. Great comment. Kyle Frost. Were they booing Trump at the end? No, I don't think so. I think there was a couple detractors there. James Wilson, don't forget he was at the barbershop earlier. What a hustling dude. Yeah, that's right. He went to a barbershop in the Bronx. I'll have that on a video tomorrow. Letitia K. Thomas, Letitia James in back row in 2016, same seat. Yeah, it must be where she pays for it. I think I just talked to DVM Uncharted, and this is James Wilson. Don't forget at the barbershop. What a hustling dude. Yes. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 6:30. I may do a show earlier in the day, like 4 o'clock, depending on what's breaking in news-wise. I thank you all for tuning in. It was fantastic. I enjoyed it. And it was a bit of fresh air, something different. We didn't have to, sit through a rally or anything. We actually were able to laugh. I laughed. I hope you laughed. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you.